Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It seems like Belarus is getting closer and closer to be drawn into completely into the Ukraine-Russia war, because I think it's already, not I think that's obvious that it's already in with logistics and offering its territory to the Russian army to use for its own military purposes, which is, bombardiers taking off, landing over there using their missiles and things like this. And also they used Belarus territory to invade through the north. And I remember when they went down and encircled Kiev over there, kept kept the Ukrainian army busy over there, so they can take care of it in the east. And then they say, okay, mission accomplished, I guess. Let's go back. Well, if I would be a country that's under attack and I would see this happening coming from a different country, I would consider that country part of the war right there. Also, I would consider part of the war countries that supply my enemy with weapons, which would be the West, obviously. But probably they don't want to escalate it to that level yet. So let's see what's going on in this article. Lukashenko, this comes from Ukrainska Pravda, from July 2nd, 2022. Lukashenko accuses Ukraine of shelling Belarus and ordered to, and I'm quoting, put opponents, it's not apostrophe, it's plural, capitals at gunpoint. And capitals is at in plural. It's not, with possessive article over there, S. So Lukashenko accuses Ukraine of shelling Belarus, well, and ordered to put opponents' capitals at gunpoint. All right, let's see what this gentleman is saying. Alexander Lukashenko, and I'm going to use I'm going to read the words these guys use in this article, so be mindful of that. The self-proclaimed president of Belarus accused Ukraine of launching missiles on the territory of Belarus and ordered his military to put, quote unquote, the capital's decision-making centers of Minsk opponents at gunpoint. All right, let's see if he's going to mention some names here. Lukashenko on July 2nd at a meeting on the occasion of Independence Day reports that Belarus state agency. Okay, he claimed that. Quote from Lukashenko. We are being provoked, I have to tell you. 3 days ago, maybe a little more, well, you have to know exactly, they tried to attack military facilities on the territory of Belarus from the territory of Ukraine. This is what I would say. I would say on this date, at this hour, this equipment from that location conducted this attack on our territory, on these locations, A, B, C, D. That's how you do it. And when you do that, people can look and say, okay, let us check a little bit and find if it's true or not. You don't say, well, 3 days ago, maybe 5 days ago, I don't know, like 5 million people died, Belarusians in like 50 towns, and we're doing okay, but we're going to punch back. Really? I mean, that's not how you do it. That tells me a lot of things about this guy's way of exposing things or making a point. So it says here that 3 days ago, maybe a little more, 4, 5, they tried to attack military facilities on the territory of Belarus from the territory of Ukraine. So vague, but thank God, which one? The Pantsir anti-aircraft system managed to intercept all the missiles launched by the armed forces of Ukraine. This is now he's advertising the Russian military equipment, like the Ukrainians in another video I made about half an hour ago. I was talking about the Ukrainians being artillery claims that it destroyed Pantsir S-1 self-propelled missile systems, defense missile systems. Therefore, saying those $15 million units are nothing. So, in other words, by the Hercules, HIMARS, or whatever, HIMARS, Caesar, Americans, French, and whomever there's. All right, so Lukashenko also said that he ordered the military to put the decision-making centers in the capitals of Minsk opponents at gunpoint. Can you name some names, please? And I quote, I want to warn the hawks and tell you sincerely, a little less than a month ago, I gave the orders to the units of the armed forces of Belarus to put, as it is now trendy to say, decision-making centers in your capitals at gunpoint with all the consequences that follow, he said. Lukashenko warned that if only the opponents of Minsk dare to strike as they plan on Gomel in the south or on the Mozir refinery, on the airfield in Luninets or Brest, the response will be instantaneous, just in 1 second. Did you hear that? 1 second. All right. And I'm quoting again. We got the means to answer, and not only the ones we have talked about recently with the president of Russia about nuclear weapons. That's quote unquote by these guys. He didn't say that. I have been preparing for this for a long time. Remember, I talked about missile production, Polonaise, multiple rocket launcher. You are completely under the attack of these missiles. I don't care whether you're sitting in the offices or palaces. We will respond hastily and decisively. Harshly, not hastily. Harshly and decisively, Lukashenko threatens. Well, I don't think he threatens. He's telling you what he's going to do. And if you do something, he's going to do that. It's not a threat. I mean, you could perceive it as a threat. Yeah, it could be. But I'm telling you, guy, if you commit a crime, you're going to be arrested. Is that a threat? No, I'm just telling you what will be the next steps, the following steps of your actions. This will render this actions if you do what you're doing. All right, but nevertheless, threatens. Okay, you can take it as a threat as well. At the same time, the self-proclaimed president assures that Belarus has no desire to fight in Ukraine, and the Republic absolutely does not need this war. I assure you, under oath, not a single soldier of Belarus is fighting on the territory of Ukraine, he said. I want to say to those who are worried whether Lukashenko will fight there or not, listen, we will fight. I repeat again, only in one case. If you cross the last meter of our land and invade our land, if you kill our people, we will respond, Lukashenko said. That's normal. Good for you. At the same time, the self-proclaimed president believes that the Ukrainian authorities would be glad if Belarus invaded Ukraine. I think that too. And I'm quoting, they would be happy, I know that for sure, if we entered there. They need it because they were ordered from there, and they don't care about the death of civilians. Ukrainian politicians and the president have one policy. The more Ukrainians die, the more he will shout to the world, the whole world, about the atrocities of fascists from Russia and Belarus, Lukashenko said. And then they tell us here a little bit reference, and in the reference is the last paragraph where they try to do damage control. So you forget about the middle of the article and you remain only with what they tell you. Russians, Belarusians, bad. Ukraine, the monolithic West or collective West, good. That's what they always do. I told you about that many times. Psychological, reality. We remember the beginning of the story and the end of the story more than the middle. So they always end up with covering for their side, obviously. And this not coming from the Russian media. The covering is for their own side, which is, in this world and interest-based. Yes. So I post another video talking about who benefits if Belarus is drawn into the war. I think Ukraine is the first one who benefits. Russia doesn't benefit. Belarus doesn't benefit. The Western benefit because they're going to say, and Poland. Not the Baltic states because they're little bottom feeders. They have nothing, but their territories will be used. So Ukraine and his handlers, sponsors will benefit. So I don't think the Belarusians will do that, or the Russians. Nevertheless, the fact that Belarusian territory is used by those guys to shoot at Ukraine, I think Ukraine has 100% is entitled to shoot back, and not only those positions where they're shelled from, but other military installations. Because and if you go by that, I would even go further, and I will question even the legitimacy of, let's say, Poland using its territory for transfer of and providing weapons and equipment to Ukraine and the Westerns, because otherwise, without your help, I could beat these guys in 3 minutes. But with you, I have more casualties and it takes longer. So therefore, because of you, I have some problems. So yeah, you are allies, you are in it, you're not in it. So it's like half in, half out. You either push him out or you're dragging in. Which one are you? I understand that having Poland or other countries from the West getting involved is going to create a big problems. And I think that in that case, I predict if that would be the case, nuclear weapons will be used as a warning, and that would all come to a stop because everybody will shit their pants and they want to still live and do this and watch TV and all. So we'll see. We don't have crazies there yet. Too crazy to do this. Unless Lukashenko would have some nuclear weapons, and I think he would be a fast button pusher. All right. I'm just kidding. You never know until you do it. You can assume, right? You can assess. Those Panzer missile systems hit all the Ukrainian attackers. They should know exactly where they came from and all that, right? The trajectory and all that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.